Hi, welcome to Rascal's Crafts. My name is Chuck, and I decided to start a YouTube channel. And let me tell you a little bit about me, what this channel is going to be doing, some of the projects that we're going to be doing, and things like that. Again, my name is Chuck. I live here in North Las Vegas. Been here a little over 13 years. My wife, Kathy, we've been married 41 years. My son, Nathan, he 36-year-old, he still lives with us. And my mother-in-law, also Kathy, lives with us. I am a disabled veteran. I retired from full-time work back in September to take care of my mother-in-law. I'm her primary caregiver. This channel, what we're going to be doing with this channel is hopefully learn things, have some fun. I'm going to be doing projects such as resin casting, paint pouring, small wood turning projects, restorations, baking, maybe some sewing, and miscellaneous other stuff. Such as, if I need something around the house, instead of buying it, I may build it. And we'll see how that goes. May not be pretty, but it will be functional. I do want to let you know that this channel is not sponsored by anybody. And I do not, at this point, plan on monetizing this channel. The main reason for not monetizing it is since I am recently retired, the Social Security Administration says how much money I can make a month. Why they care, I don't know, but I have to stick to their guidelines. If I go over those guidelines, then they take away my Social Security check for the first year, each month that I go over the amount that I'm allowed to earn. So making $200 on a channel is not worth losing $1,600 from my retirement check. So I can't monetize yet, and I don't know if I will in the future. I don't have any sponsors, I believe I said earlier. If there is anybody out there that would like me to use their equipment or their products and want to send me some, I'm not too proud to say thank you. So it's one of those things where everything I do comes out of my pocket, and some of the stuff that I use is like it's going to be resin. Okay, this is 1 gallon of resin. You use half of this, and it's 1-to-1 mixture. So 1 gallon is 16 cups. If I use 2 cups of the resin, it gets expensive. That gallon of resin costs me $85. So, if you do the breakdown, the projects, if I use 2 cups of resin, they're not cheap. I haven't done the breakdown. Now, maybe I'll edit it into this. But, we're 16 cups of resin doesn't go very far. So I have to keep buying. I will have to keep buying resin. Getting projects to work on. Some of the things that I want to do would be like the paint pouring, which I mentioned earlier. Paints cost money. So that comes out of my pocket. I plan on doing restorations. So unless I can find something out there at flea markets or whatever that I want to do, it all depends on how much I'm going to be spending. So when I do go to figure out what to do with all this stuff I'm going to make. I have to take that into consideration when I price it. But that's pretty much what this channel is going to be doing. So if you have any questions for me in the future, I have an email address, rascalscrafts@yahoo.com. And then again, you can always put a comment down in the comment section here. I will read them, and if I have time, which more than likely I will, I'll answer them. So, okay, so let's go ahead and get into some other items like shop safety and the tools required and stuff like that. Okay, let's talk some shop safety. If you're going to ever decide you want to do something like this, make sure you have all of the safety equipment for whichever projects you're going to try and do. For instance, the number one item that you should always have in your shop is fire extinguisher. You don't want to be doing something and find out that your house is burning down because you didn't buy a fire extinguisher. Get one. Keep it handy. Make sure it's always well charged. If you use it, buy another one or go have it recharged. That is the number one safety item that you can have. Depending on the project that you're going to use, you may need other things. For wood turning or resin casting, a good thing to have is a face shield. Okay, this way here, things don't fly up, get in your eyes, blocks most of the sawdust so that you're not choking on it as you're doing it, and it keeps you safe. You can buy cheap ones like I did, put it on a hard hat, and it works wonderfully. Or you can buy expensive shields that have built-in respirators and all this other stuff. I have a separate respirator. I don't need to have that for this. You seldom need both at the same time. So, you know, my respirator will fit inside this mask. I am going to be hanging a piece of leather from the mask, because when you're doing wood turning and resin casting, you don't really want the shavings and strings and stuff to go up underneath. So the piece of leather will keep it from going up into your mask. So that's a good thing to have. And as you can see, it's tight. Okay. If you're not using a lathe, if you're just using a chop saw or a radial arm saw or band saw or something like this, it doesn't kick up a lot of product aimed at you. You can use just safety glasses. Make sure they're ANSI approved. You don't want something that's going to get scratched or chipped or something like that as you're using them. Even if you have regular glasses, such as mine, that are safety approved, you can purchase these with safety glasses in them. Make sure that they're nice fitting. They don't hang down on your nose like this. And some people actually buy shields that go on the bows and protects things from going into the sides. I don't like those. I like my peripheral vision. And it's not often that I'm turning my head as I'm chopping something. So I don't have too much problem when it comes to that. But I still will wear regular safety glasses over these if I'm doing something that's kicking up a lot of sawdust. When you're using your safety equipment, make sure it's in good working order. Always test it, check it, make sure it's not cracked, it's not broken in some way, make sure it fits properly. You know, just be safe. If you plan on doing anything like this and you don't have the proper safety equipment, you can hurt yourself severely. For instance, you know, cut off a finger. Okay? I still have all mine. I'm just using this as an example. If you do something stupid and you don't follow the safety guidelines and you do hurt yourself, let me know. I could use a good laugh. I'll feel sorry for you. Trust me, I don't want you to get hurt, but I will laugh at you. So let me know, please. Another good thing to have, especially if you're doing wood turning or resin casting, you know, the turning portion of it, depending on what you're cutting, resin can get very hard. Okay, it sets and it can be very hard. So what you want to do when you're turning it, you may want to get a pair of tight fitting gloves. Okay, leather. Okay, you can see it, these are well used. And the reason is when you're holding the tool and you're taking away material, sometimes chips will fly off because it's spinning towards you. So they fly at you and embed themselves in the web between the thumb and the forefinger. That hurts a lot. So get yourself a good pair of gloves. You want them tight fitting because if they're loose, like, you know, the brown dollar store buy 10 for $1 gloves, don't ever get those. What happens is the item that you're turning can catch the cloth and pull your finger down and jam it, cut it, things like that. So you don't want to do that. Now, you know, during the summer, full gloves are not always the best thing to have. So you can go ahead and get yourself a pair of fingerless. Now you can still have dexterity, pick things up if you need to, but they're still leather. Okay, still protect that web in your hand. They still protect your knuckles. It's just they're a little cooler to use. Okay, but be more careful because instead of the item that you're turning catching the glove, it can catch your finger. That hurts more. Okay, so be careful. Please, please be careful. Let's see. When you're working with resin or paint or anything like that, you're going to want rubber gloves. Okay. This is Grease Monkey brand, and I got them at Harbor Freight. Cheap, but they work good. They'll rip, they'll tear, so you don't want to get real expensive ones. But make sure you get them for your size. I use XX. I got big hands. So that, and the reason you want to use these is when you're using resin, the resin gets hot and it can burn you. If you get the resin on your hand, you don't wash it off immediately, you can get a chemical burn from it. You can also, if it dries, it doesn't come off very easily. and it's painful. So be careful when you're using resin. If you're doing restoration work, you don't want to have the oils from your skin on clean metal or plastic or whatever, because the paint won't adhere to it as well. So you have to be careful there. If you're stripping rust off of an item, you don't really want that rust remover or grease remover on your hands. Use gloves. If you're using that kind of a product as far as the rust remover and degreaser, wear your safety glasses, not these, safety glasses, so that it can't splash going around. Again, be safe. Use your head. This thing right here was not designed strictly as a hat rack. You got a brain, use it. If you don't use the safety equipment, don't do the project. Okay? If you don't want to be safe, don't do the project. Okay. So that's me on safety, and you will always see me, if my face or something is on camera, you will always see me wearing the proper safety equipment. Another thing that you might want to consider wearing, I have a pair of overalls that I will put on when I'm doing certain types of projects, so I don't get stains on my shirts. You know, as you can see, I'm a Captain America fan. Some people say I'm a big Captain America fan. I've got the shield tattooed on my arm, and I actually own a custom-made Captain America outfit that I wear Halloween, and hopefully what I would like to start doing is going to children's hospitals as Captain America. Now, of course, it'll be the retirement years, but I hope to be able to do that to bring some joy to some sick kids. I am a very large child advocate. I used to belong to a motorcycle club. It was called BACA, stands for Bikers Against Child Abuse. 100% volunteer organization, and it's probably the best organization I have ever heard of. If you want more information on BACA, go to bacaworld.org, and it's again BACA world.org. Watch some of the videos, see what they do, and if you have a opportunity to see some of them riding down the road, their back patch is a big fist with a skull and crossbone on it, and it says Bikers Against Child Abuse on it. Shake their hands. They're the good guys. They never, ever do anything illegal, because they have to keep up their reputation. They're well thought of by law enforcement, court systems, and other motorcycle organizations. So, okay, that's my little soapbox for BACA. So again, please be safe. Please take care of yourselves. Okay, so next thing we're going to talk about will be some of the equipment that I'll be using. Welcome to my shop. As you can see, I have a good selection of equipment. None of it very large, but you know, it does what I need it to do. Don't mind the bench. I haven't cleaned it off since I started doing this video, but you can see some of the things that I have, and I want to let you know that all of this equipment I have gotten over the last 2.5 years. United States Coast Guard, and again, I'm a disabled vet. But very little of it did I pay full price for. The reason is I don't have a lot of money. Anyway, you can see this Porter cable bandsaw. I bought it at a yard sale in a box, brand new. I paid, I believe, around $70 for it. It didn't work. Well, I got it home and I opened it up, and both of the wheels, the blade was jammed and it wouldn't turn. Both of the wheels were pulled away from the back. They were missing the little circuit clips that hold them in place. I own circuit clips. I own a tool that puts them on. I put one on each top and bottom. Now it works perfectly. Okay, and you can see that it is clean. Okay, keep your equipment clean. My drill press, I got this for free. The company I worked for at the time was buying a new drill press, a bigger one, and they gave me this one. Works perfectly well. Nothing wrong with it. Air compressor, I paid full price at Harbor Freight. 2-year warranty. Okay. A planer. Now, this is a little different. A few of my items I received the same way I got this planer. The planer is, let me move that. Okay. So, you know, it's a good deal. I went and bought it at a place that's called Nellis Auctions. Okay, Nellis Auctions is an online auction house that does one-day auctions. Everything starts out at $1 and works its way up from there. I got this planer for a little over $100. Pretty good price. Okay, this thing is a paint booth. You use this because I don't want to fill my garage with paint fumes. So, as you can see, that stuff that's on the paint booth will actually attach and vent the fumes out that hole so that I don't have to worry about getting a lot of fumes in here. Okay, come up here. That little holder for my cordless stuff, I built it. I had some spare wood. You can buy these on the internet for $40 to $50. Why should I do that? I can build one. Works great. You can see that my tools hang. They have a spot and everything goes in its spot. Everything in my bins is labeled so I know what goes where. Okay. Down here I have got a jigsaw. The one right in the middle there is a sharpening grinder for sharpening chisels and knives and stuff like that. Next to it is a bench grinder. This is where all of my other tools are for things like that. in cases so they don't get dirty, don't get dusty. Here is an oven that is used for curing powder coat, which is a painting process. Back there is a vacuum system for getting sawdust and stuff like this, collecting it so it doesn't fill up the old garage with sawdust. Radial Arm Saw. I bought this instead of a table saw. The reason for that is, well, it was cheap, and I can use this for ripping wood. All I have to do is pull it out, turn it sideways so the blade goes this way, and then I can adjust it for however wide I need that. And I have a back fence, so it's always the proper distance. So it has multi-uses, okay? Shop vac for picking up things off the floor. Chop saw, okay? The chop saw I got for Christmas one year, so I don't know how much it cost. And this is my lathe. As you can see, it's not very big. The largest thing I can do in it is about a 12-inch. So I can't do large bowls or anything like that, but I can make candlesticks or small bowls or things like that, okay? Sandblasting cabinet. That's great for removing rust and things like that off a product. Okay, now as you can tell, this is my garage, but it's not all of my garage. That wall right there, I built, I put in, because on the other side of it is our pantry. Okay, so, you know, I didn't want sawdust and stuff going into the pantry all the time. Okay, as I said, I am a huge Captain America fan, so these curtains, and also, of course, a Green Bay Packers fan. These curtains I made because behind them I have all of my hand tools that I don't use all the time. I also have the things that my projects are going to be made out of, and you can see that they're labeled Star Wars figurines, miscellaneous media, which is like sand and things, decorations, superheroes, skulls and bones. You know, it's where I store some of the things I'm going to make out of them. Down here is some of the chemicals that I'm going to be using. Again, over here, you can see that I have some projects for the future. Okay. Neighbor across the way, he decided that his grandson decided he didn't want these cars anymore, so he smashed them. I took them. I'm going to try and restore them. Okay. Let's see, scales for weighing out resin or whatever else I need. Molds for making coasters or ashtrays or whatever. Excuse me. Again, other equipment for using it. My coveralls I was telling you about that I wear when I need to. Some more of my equipment. That big thing is called a pressure pot. You use it for resin casting to remove bubbles from the resin. That is a ultrasonic cleaner, heats up liquids to remove grease and stuff like that. Right there is a vacuum pot and that's for degassing, which when I go to use it and need to do it, I'll explain more. Dehydrator, if you're going to cast flowers, you need to have them dry because otherwise they don't come out very well. Okay, you can see all my clamps, and that's not all of my clamps. Toolbox that has things that I don't use very often. And then totes of more projects that I'm going to be using. Okay, so, and for instance, one of the projects that I plan on doing is this. This is a 1958 Tonka truck. It is a style pickup, number 4. You can see it has been well played with, left out in the dirt for a while. I'm going to restore this to make it look brand new. Now this is missing some parts. For instance, no windshield, no grill. The bumper may not be able to be salvaged. The tires are all messed up. It doesn't have the tailgate. It looks like somebody sat on it and bent it down, so I'm going to have to straighten it. Okay. One of the things I'm going to be doing on this channel that I haven't seen anybody else do is tell you how much it's going to cost to do this kind of thing. This truck, as it sits, I have seen on eBay for $150. As it sits. I did not pay that much for it. I paid at a flea market $17. Okay, the person didn't know what they had. But there's a lot of work to be done. I got to get rid of all the rust. I have to straighten all the metal. This right here, whoever owned it, put a wire through the hood. So I have to close those holes up. Unfortunately, I don't have a welder. I'm looking for one at Nellis Auction, and hopefully I can find one. So when I go to do this, I have to replace the wheels. As you can see, they are, this one's not too bad. I might be able to salvage that one. But most of these, they're real loose, okay? And they're not salvageable. So the wheels, again, the truck cost me $17. I bought 4 new wheels, 4 new white walls, and 4 new hubcaps. That cost me $40, 10 cents per tire, okay? Or $10 per tire. I also have the windshield, the grill, the headlights, the tailgates, the chains. I've got everything I need to restore this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the price list in for everything I do so that you have an idea of how much it could cost you if you decide you want to try and do this kind of stuff. It's not cheap, okay? $40 for 4 tires. Well, what I'm going to do for the future is I'm going to make a mold of the tires, of the white walls, and I'm going to go ahead and cast my own. It's just rubber. Okay, you make the mold, you fill it with rubber, and then you can come out with the tires you need. So that'll save me some money in the future. Okay. So, you know, again, what I'm going to do is say this is how much it costs. When I go to use the resin, if I have to use a cup of resin, I'll say how much a cup of resin is going to cost me. Then if I use, let's say, a figurine in that resin, I'll say how much the figurine cost me. Okay. Other things that I have purchased and that we have to, that I will not take into consideration as far as cost goes, because it's basically shop equipment. These are alligator clips, okay, and they're on long, let me see if I can get this open real quick. Okay, so they're on long stakes. I can clip something in it. Okay, and I can use them for painting. That way there, I don't get paint on my hands. It holds it steady, because when I go to use my paint booth, I'll stick it in the styrofoam and I'll have easy access to paint whatever the project is. Also, it keeps your oils from your hands off of the project so that the paint sticks better. Now, again, I don't like paying full price for anything. These I bought at Nellis Auction. This is a box of 50 of those alligator clips. When I bought it, I bought the 50 alligator clips for $5. When I picked it up, it was actually 5 boxes of 50 alligator clips. So I got 250 of these bad boys. Do I need 250? No, not at all. And again, things like the paintbrush. Okay, that paintbrush, I bought what was thought to be 750 paintbrushes because they're cheap. Look at them. Okay, they're basically a one-time use. They lose the strands and stuff like this. It's cheap wood. Okay, literally, these are throwaways. Well, I bought what I thought was 750 in a case. Okay, great. Well, I didn't know because it wasn't listed in the auction. There were 10 cases of them. So I got 7,500 paintbrushes. I donated 6,500 paintbrushes to a local school. I don't need them. So, you know, somebody else, you know, are they the best quality? No. But can they slap paint on rocks? Yes, they can do great. So, again, I don't pay full price for stuff if I can help it. And it's one of those things where if I need it, I will buy it. And but if I can get a deal on it, I'll get the deal on it. Okay, that's my shop. Oh, Rascals Crafts. Where'd I get the name? I am a big Little Rascals fan. Now, people of my generation know who the Little Rascals were. Out west, they were called Our Gang. It's about 2 kids in the or not 2 kids, but a group of kids in the Depression era that got in a lot of trouble. So that's why I did it. Also, when I was growing up back in Wisconsin, born and raised, there was a book that was called Rascal. And Rascal was a raccoon, and it was about the family and he was a pet for a family, and it's about the trouble that he used to get into. So I like the opportunity of using rascals because it means something to me. So, okay. If you have any questions or comments, please, again, put them down below in the comments section. Send me an email, rascalscrafts@yahoo.com. I hope you enjoyed this a little bit. It's a little longer than I thought it would be, but I'm going to try and edit some of it out. If you do like it, subscribe, hit that little notification bell so that you can get notifications when I do a project. I hope to start a project real soon, but I needed to do this to introduce myself, and this is basically a video of me learning how to make videos. Okay, if you have any suggestions or critiques, go ahead and send them to me. I will go ahead and try and answer anything that I can. But I hope you have fun with me as we make these things. I hope that you remain healthy, remain safe. Please take care of yourself and others. Remember, you only have one shot at this life. Make it worthwhile. Okay, take care now. Goodbye.